when the lies are great. They all fall down. When their lies are great, they make no sense to me. When it all falls apart, it makes no sense. When the lies are great, they are fall. I'm gonna play a song while everything loads. That was funny. Maybe it didn't work. Nope, it didn't work. Could circuit breaker some more though. Hey, hi, hey, hey, hey. Well, it does work. I guess I could have done it better. Alright, I'll play a song meanwhile you, Man, I screwed that up. So funny. I did not anticipate that ending quite there, but it did. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. How are you guys? I totally messed up in the beginning. I had this whole okay, so first of all, hi everyone. Hi. I had this thing going before the stream was starting. Um and it was working out. I had it all working and it was really cool and I was on a roll. And then I decided to map one more control, just one more thing. And as a result, what happened was, for some reason, that one control was also mapped to mute on like 3 different instruments. So every time I thought I was doing something, I was doing something else. Which just goes to prove that you cannot control everything in a live environment. Hence, I screwed up. So I will have to try that again sometime when it's not quite so screwy. It threw me off, but anyway, it was a cool piece. But it train wrecked. Sorry, it happens to the best of us. It totally train wrecked. Every time, I swear, every time I hit this one knob right here, like 3 things would mute, and I didn't catch it that's what was happening. I just thought the computer was crashing. I was like, "What's going on? Everything's messing up." Never map that last thing. Just don't do it. Anyway, so thankfully I had a song ready to play that I could play so that I could set up the mic and do all that kind of stuff. So anyway, as you can see, I don't know if you can see it, but my vocal mic is still up. I'm still using it. So excuse me if I go a little bit farther out and, it doesn't quite catch everything. But Rafael Garcia says, was there ever a screw up that turned into something awesome? In fact, there was. And it just happened this week. I was so excited, in fact, that that I'll tell you all about it. But I can't play it for you, but I'll tell you all about it in a minute. But yeah, screw ups are good because sometimes the mistake that you make when you're either composing or in the middle of a recording, or even when you're doing something as mundane as comping vocals, which I can't stand comping vocals. But yeah, no, happy accidents do happen. So I guess I'll get into what I've been up to this week, and that'll lead into the happy accident of what happened this week that I can relate to this whole screw up. So, hi. Hi world. I can't see the chats right now, so I don't know who's saying what because it switched screens on me, so I have to give me a second. There you are. Okay, so no one was talking. All right. So this week was a busy week, actually. I was working on art every single day. I was working on music stuff every single day. Tuesday, I was recording my 3rd session of vocals for up to 4 songs that I think I did 4 or 5. 4. And I did about probably 12 takes of each song. And this has been my 3rd session with this particular batch of songs. So then I had to vocal comp them. So I think I comped 3. I'm on the 4th, which will probably go into the weekend, maybe, but maybe not. And I was working on art pieces. So it's been a busy week. Like I had a lot going on. Shows are coming, obviously, so I'm going to promote them a little more. So a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. But anyway, so here's my happy accident based on that question that was on the chat right now. So there I was, comping vocals to a song. And I was having a bit of a problem because even though I had done 3 sessions of the song, the ending part of the song, um, it it wouldn't resolve. Like I have this thing about the song has to resolve at the end. Something has to happen where I lead it into an ending. So whether that's musical or vocal, whatever that is, it's gonna have to lead. I like the idea of there being some kind of resolve. Doesn't always happen, mind you, but I want to have it if I can get it. So I had done this vocal comp of the third session, and the ending of that particular section of the song, I think it was the last five or four bars of the song. I had sung something completely different, rendered them out to like these weird echoes and things. And the idea was this is going to be my resolved ending. But now I had done this entirely different session. So as I was muting and unmuting the vocals, this weird thing happened and they interplayed because apparently I sang one of those ending choruses completely 2 bars early. So it created this really weird wash, and I just totally loved it. And it was just totally by accident. It was completely from a mistake. And so, therefore, that was happy for me. Like, I love when things like that happen. And I knew I had resolved the song. So now I'm like stoked on the song. Where before I was like, the ending. Now it's like, I can't wait to hear that ending, because that's what happens. You fall in love with these parts. So, oh, thank you. Thank you, Max. Um, Saludos, saludos. Um, God, I miss South America so much. I want to go so badly, and I can't right now. But that's another story for another day because I don't want to get into the politics of it all. But it sucks. I can't go right now. The world is still stupid and crazy, so I can't go. But but yeah, so I was busy, man. So I kept checking in on Twitter. So unless you were listening last week when I mentioned this, and maybe I mentioned it the week before, I've been the most active on Twitter. I have no idea why, because I actually can't stand writing 140 characters. I don't like it. So I have no idea why I'm drawn to it. I'm still examining myself as to why I'm drawn to it, but I am. Even though I don't really like to follow anything on Twitter because it like just drives me crazy. So I don't really do that. But I love watching the NFT space on Twitter because it's so much fun. So I'll blame it on that. Although I'm gonna start posting more NFT based things on Facebook because I know I have a lot of followers there. And I'm gonna start making some videos that are not related to, well, everything's related to anything bucks, but I mean more art related things. I'm gonna start showing processes and things because there's some stuff I've been doing that's pretty crazy and I want to show it off. Um, I don't know if show it off was the right answer because I don't know that you could show off this crap I'm doing, but it's really funny the stuff I'm doing, but I'm trying. So anyway, we got a lot of topics and all of them came from Twitter. So and I've got some demos, some weird stuff, and it looks like this whole mistake turns into something approach is a theme because like it or not, the whole thing started that way. So uh if you're just joining us, my name is Claude, also known as NPOP, and yes, I actually had signed my name that way. Um so what are the topics for tonight? What are we going to talk about? Well, let me see. I do have my notes. We are going to talk about some music news that was kind of earth shaking for me, a bit cathartic. We're going to talk about some music news and how it affects the NFT space, but also how it affects the musician space, which is a really important thing because I'm in both. So I'm going to get into that. We're going to talk about deals that you might take or not take. as a result of these newsworthy items. A very interesting article that was sent to me by one of my really good friends about could art save society? And I thought that that was a cool question to ask on the stream itself. And so I brought along some interesting videos that I'll link that you can watch, and the article, and we'll talk about that too. And then the other one was pricing art, because someone wanted to know more about pricing art, and I want to know more about pricing one's art. And then the last thing will be UFOs, because that's usually how this thing goes. We just talk about whatever, and then we end up in some crazy places. But it all will coalesce in some fashion. If not, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what will happen if it doesn't coalesce. So anyway, let's play a song. So I'm going to play a song, and then I'll start the very new topic of stuff that's going on in the news that I was very excited about. But first, I'll play a song. So this is a remix. This is, I hate when this is a remix. It's from Hope. So many people will know it, but I don't think I've played this that often on this thing. But this one stuck out for some reason today. And this is 1993-ish, if my dates are correct in my head, which is probably not, but end of 93, probably. Every Single Day, the MK2 mix, which I think was actually on, I don't know, the Dance CD5 or something. I don't collect these things, I just make them. Anyway, here it goes. And I'll turn on the overhead. So you see, my love, don't you suffer, don't you worry anymore. if I can just stop moving around, the chair won't squeak so much. I haven't been able to make it stop. I think I'm going to tear it apart and add rubber things to it. I don't know. It's just crazy how it squeaks. I need a new chair. This angle doesn't work, does it? Well, this is the beauty of this stuff. I can fix it. I can make it better than it was. Okay, so the news of this week. I found it really interesting. So the news is that LimeWire and Napster are going to become NFT marketplaces for all the major label artists. That's right. The two most hated sites that the music industry ever had are arguably Napster and LimeWire. They went after people, they sued them, they literally incarcerated some. Some people actually went to jail for downloading MP3s. And after all that time, now the major labels are actually inking a deal with LimeWire and Napster to provide NFT marketplaces for their artists on their peer-to-peer networks. So, I was always a fan of LimeWire and Napster. I used them. I didn't give two shits about that stuff. I was one of the people that supported MP3, so in many ways, I feel vindicated is the right word. Vindicated. Sorry, there we go. I feel vindicated that I was supporting something that I knew was going to stay around, because I knew peer-to-peer was never going to go away. How could it go away? Peer-to-peer is almost directly the precursor to blockchain. Because for those that never knew how this worked, I'm going to give you the layman, totally non-scientific explanation of peer-to-peer. What it means is, if I want, let's say, that Living in Oblivion remix on MP3, I would go on LimeWire and look for it. And what LimeWire would do was look for other computers that were on the network that had pieces of the song and were storing bits and pieces of it that then it could put back together and send it my way. And then once I had it, so long as I kept seeding on, I was now providing the network, as it were. I was providing a piece of Living in Oblivion to the entire network so that everybody could get a piece of it. So really, it was not really something they could stop. And for all the court cases, for all the crap that they tried to do legally, it never ended. LimeWire was still rolling along fine just a couple days ago. And Napster, as you know, turned into a streaming site. So the reality of it is peer-to-peer was never going to be stopped. But it's funny to me how something my lawyer told me once came true. So this was when we were trying to get off of Sony and everything, and it was a big mess. And I remember being in his office, and he says to me, you know, the music industry has no memory. He says, the person that you're suing today will want to do a multi-million-dollar deal with you 10 years later. And I did not believe him. I was like, how could that be? These two entities hate each other. All this madness is happening. How could that ever happen? And he said, it just has no memory. Someday you'll see. Someone's going to make you a deal, and it's going to be somebody that you were in some sort of legal battle with, and suddenly they're going to want to do a deal with you, and you'll take it because it makes sense for you, and blah, blah, blah. So to me, uh, this was inevitable. But what I think is interesting and why I think the ramifications of this particular news is so important is because LimeWire is going to make this open for all artists. It's not going to be just major labels. It's going to be anyone who wants to be on that peer-to-peer network and mint NFTs of music or video and put them out in the world. So think of it this way. You know, I've been talking about NFT adoption a lot because I'm into it and I believe in it. And it's about to go mainstream because the minute this deal goes through, and it's going through, by the way. In fact, hold on. I'm going to show you. This is the article. And LimeWire is back to bring digital collections to anyone. Oh God, I'm not even reading right. But the main one that you can always, join the wait list, obviously, but I think you should join as a creator. So if you are a creator, I would totally recommend you do this. Get in early. I'm not just shilling it. It's something that I'm not in any way, shape, or form. I'm not part of LimeWire. I'm not getting paid to tell you this. This is not like some sponsored video. It's just that I feel this is going to be a big move. The rumor that some of the first ones to go on there are going to be Kanye West, Taylor Swift, all the big ones. So it's going to be a big deal because the NFTs are going to be brought to the mainstream audiences. And you're going to be able to pay with a credit card and collect things forever, which is something that even Spotify doesn't do. So think of it sort of like Bandcamp meets Spotify. And I don't know what the heck is going to happen to Netflix because Universal Music Group, I believe, also owns a few movie studios. So this could wind up becoming a big deal for movies too. And someone had asked me, like, why did I think that was a big deal? Well, I don't know if you guys have a Fire Stick, but I do. Once in a while, I want to watch a movie, and it's like $2.99 to rent it. I get to watch it for 2 days, and then it's gone, right? So I don't own it, but I paid $3 for it. In the case of Netflix, you pay the monthly fee, but as you know, movies go away. So again, your library is not permanent. When it comes to LimeWire or any of those things, what's going to happen is you're buying the NFT version of the movie or the NFT version of the song, which you will own. So I don't know what the price point is going to be, but I'm guessing it's going to be about $2. This is what I think. I don't know for sure. Or whatever the artist deems worthy, because the NFT can do other things. So I don't know what they're going to do with it, but I definitely signed up as a creator immediately when it happened. So I'm in. Hopefully going to get the email this week that I'm in, but it's a wait and see now. But as far as Napster, they're doing the same thing, but their deal isn't quite finished yet. And I was excited about GameStop, but anyway. So that's the big news of the week for me, because I am going to mint music NFTs. That is something that is in the periphery of my thoughts. The way I approach things is I come in slow in the beginning, and then I start to ramp up. This is how I work. So I may hem and haw a little bit, getting like to an EP, just before it starts rolling. But then next thing you know, I'm doing vocals every day. Then I'm comping, then I'm mixing, then I'm, that's how I work. So it's the same thing with these NFT sites. As they've come out, I've joined. So I've been trying all these different ones, but I really think this one is going to be different. Far different. Um, I have slightly higher hopes for it than I do for other things that I've seen. For example, I know that Facebook and Instagram are going to try to do NFTs. I don't see that one working because most people don't trust Facebook. And most creators know that once your stuff is on Facebook or Instagram, they're going to just use that for ads and all this other kind of stuff. So I don't know that that's going to work as great as this LimeWire thing. I could be wrong, I could be totally wrong about this, but this is what I think. So anyway, how does this affect the way deals are structured? And what are the next deals going to start looking like? Well, I kind of got a hint of it, and it's not pretty. So we're going to talk about that when I come back. Anyway, this is going to be a short one here. So, well, not really. So this song I played around Halloween time because this is a really bad recording. So just so you understand how bad this recording is, this recording was nabbed off of the radio. We had gone to do an interview. This was back in Jersey, and this is like 1985, 86-ish. We'd gone to do an interview, and I had just brought a cassette with me of a song that I had just written that day. And I decided to give it to the radio station that day, and they played it on the air while we were being interviewed. And what really sucks is that I don't have this song cassette. I don't have it on reel to reel. I don't know where this is. I have not found it yet. So the only recording I ever had of this song was the recording we made when they aired the interview, and it was over a really stormy evening, and I happened to record the interview, and that's the only version of this song I've got. But it's a really weird song because it shows a different side of ABOX. There's obviously what I just played, which is, the lighter side, the synth poppy side. And then there's the more gothic industrial side that we used to have in the early 80s. So I'm going to play that song. It's called The Temples Are Silent. Maybe they are silent. I don't know. And while I'm playing that song, I'll look at the chats and we can keep chatting about the subject of LimeWire, or you can ask me anything you want. Because I think when we come back, I'll finish off that topic. But we'll turn on the moon for sure for this one, because it's that kind of song. The temples are silent.
They've got to pray, they've got to pray, they have to take the pain away from our hearts, from our hands, from the sea and from the land. If you want to come inside these empty walls. If you want to come inside these empty walls. The temples
The temples are silent. Yeah. So I have looked for this song because I remember, I still remember that I hit record on the reel to reel. I recorded the song, and then it was, we're off to give this song to the radio station. Like literally, it happened within that time frame that I just ran a tape off right off the reel to reel. We ran over to the radio station, which was about 20 minutes, 20 or 30-minute ride. We did the interview. They told us when the interview was going to be, quote, aired. Because I don't think it was aired that night. Or if it was, we recorded it right there on the spot on a tape. That part I can't remember, whether we recorded it at home or while we were there. But all I know is I have the tape of the interview, which has like 3 songs on it. It has a really early version of Our Dreams and this song, and I think one other. And actually, what's funny is that this song, Danya wasn't there, so I ran off, like I said, I ran a copy off live, like literally straight live to the reel to reel, drove to the station and came home. So she wasn't even there to do backing vocals or anything. And I don't remember what we thought of the song later, or we thought it was too dark or whatever the heck happened. But anyway, it's one of those that's just kind of like the ephemeral anything box, the weird anything box, which is, I like both. So obviously you get to see more of that, the lighter side of A box when I play out, but well, not quite. I've been adding a few oldies in there. Jose says would love to see the interview. It's actually not a video. It's actually just a cassette. I played parts of it. I think it's the very first Halloween in the very first, there was only one Halloween in all of 2020 was Halloween, but, there was a joke there, but I believe it was the Halloween Quarren stream that I played the entire interview. And, so you can go look for that and you'll hear the whole thing. And this song's there and also, thank you. Juan Manuel dice, gracias por compartir esos momentos. De nada. I still have to do the Spanish show. That hasn't been done yet. But I'm going to do it. So it's going to happen. So anyway, back to the news. So we were talking about, what's going to happen now. So before NFTs became a thing, you have to understand that major labels were facing a crisis. There's 2 crises that they're facing. One was that streaming revenues first of all, they're making enough money. They're just pretending that they're not making money, but they are making money. It's the artist that doesn't make any money. So the artists themselves don't make a lot of money from streamings, but the major labels do. Make no mistake. They jumped on that quick. And because most artists did not have any stipulations about streaming in their contracts, they literally got screwed out of streaming royalties. So they're just not getting any. Which is the reason, I don't know if you guys know this, but it's the reason that Spotify pays streaming royalties directly to the artists if it's possible, so that they can avoid the major label. They just pay a fee. And then it gets split among everyone. So yeah, I know it sucks because it's not quite a livable wage. It's not. Let's face it. And I think I've had this discussion before. I think of Spotify as nothing more than a radio station. So I don't look at it as a source of like income to pay my rent or buy new equipment or do anything. Spotify to me is just a radio station, except it's one that I don't do interviews on or I don't get to do anything with. So now enter the NFT space. And why I find this really interesting and insidious is that what I foresee happening here is that major labels are going to start to want the NFT income from the artists they sign. This is definitely going to be in their contracts. I can tell you this right now with full conviction that this will be part of their contracts. So on the day that I found out about the LimeWire thing, I had seen a post by a label that basically said, so what would be your pitch? I don't even remember what I tweeted back, but it was pretty funny. What would be your pitch if we were to sign you? And my snarky remark was, my pitch would be, you had better change my life, and I mean in a dramatic sort of way, before I sign anything. That's my pitch. And they thought it was really funny, and they retweeted it. But what I want you to understand, though, is that I meant it. It wasn't a joke. I would not sign a contract like that, where everything you own, down to not just publishing anymore, but now it's your site. Now they want to own your merch. And now they want to even own your NFTs. Are you effing kidding me? No. Don't do it. See, what you have to understand, and they're not really seeing the forest for the trees yet, but they will. All the major artists that are going to jump onto this LimeWire thing, this Napster thing, they're not going to make that much money. I mean, they're going to make money, but they're not going to make anywhere near the amount of money that an independent would make going on to LimeWire and suddenly having someone buy 1 million NFTs. That situation, that perfect situation, is going to bite them. Because NFTs, as you know, as I've been saying forever and a day, a lot of this is blockchain peer-to-peer. So the independent artist has much more to gain by staying independent than by signing to some major label with a promise. Now, I'm going to preface this a different way. How would I sign? Why would I sign? Because I get this question all the time from friends. Because obviously, I had an album on a major label. My contract was not the best that it could have been. I didn't sign things really knowing what I was doing. I'm much smarter now when it comes to those things. So now, if someone came to me, it would be like, so these are the 3 things that I would make sure that I do. Number 1, make sure the deal is short enough that if they don't do their job, I can get out easily. So the deal would be short. The territories would be limited. I would never want to give them the territory of the world. I would be like, well, you can do this in the US and any other different countries that we designate, but I'm going to reserve a few countries for myself. Hence, Mexico, South America, I wouldn't give that to them. Not at all. I wouldn't do it. Would you ever, I get this question all the time. So they're going to come and they give you $100,000 in cash. Are you going to give up your website? No, I won't. I'll be crying a river that I don't have that $100,000, but I know that in the long run, it won't last, because everything else that they're going to do will make them 7, 8 times that much. And that's life-changing for them. That's me with $100,000 is not that life-changing. It really isn't. You think it is, but I've been there and it wasn't. So I'm going to tell you that the only way you win at the game is that you're already doing so well that by the time they come to you, you can literally say, unless you're going to change my life, and I mean drastically, and I mean dramatically from here till tomorrow, like, you know, you're going to do all the bidding for this house that I want, and whatever the house costs over the market, you're willing to pay for it. And you're not going to own all of my publishing, and the deal is going to be a little bit sweeter on the artist side. And this is how we're going to deal with creative issues. If that isn't the way that it works, then I'm not taking it. And the more that the blockchain takes hold of these trusted, true, I use quotes, the more that the blockchain takes over these spaces, the less standing that they'll have to control things. And that's a big deal. So we have to take advantage of it. So that's all I'm saying here. I'm sorry. There's something going on here. This is better. So yeah. So what I would do is stay independent. Stay independent as long as you possibly can, unless the deal is life-changing. If the deal is life-changing, you know. So that said, here's the other side of it. If you do sign something, you have to make sure that your part is taken care of, that you're doing everything you can to make your project succeed. You can't rely on them to do it for you, because sometimes they sign artists. They'll sign an artist just to see if, you know, it's like throwing spaghetti against the wall. If something sticks, cool, we push it. If it doesn't, oh well, we drop it. That's been their way, their mantra, and they continue to do it that way. So it's not like you're gonna, you know, it's not like magic. Like, look, I magically thought I was so special. They make you feel so special. You are so talented. You are a genius. All these things. You're gonna be this, 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 and you're like, yes. And then, like, the first sign of trouble, they all run. And then you're like, well, what happened to all that stuff? And it's like, you know, this is how they operate. So stay independent. Okay. So, number 3, the more stuff that they want in that contract, meaning the more stuff that you see that they're after, it probably means that there's more assets that they know they're going to make money from you. So that is actually a good indicator. If they want almost nothing from you and they just want to do a deal for like 10%, then you're nothing more than a light investment. And that means you're probably going to be dropped within a year. So that's a good opportunity to do the 1 year thing and then, you know, get out. But other than that, I wouldn't do it. So that's just my 2 Satoshis on that subject. But what I'm going to do before I play the next song, if you're a creator, you should do the LimeWire thing. You should. Because we should all check it out and see what it's like. So I'm going to put it in the chat here. Boom. You've got it. Now I'm going to look at your chats. And then when I come back, I'll answer some questions that I see on the chat, because I see some interesting questions there. And meanwhile, let's play The World Without Love rehearsal. That's the one I'm going to play because that's fun. This is a rehearsal. It's only 2 minutes and something. So we'll play that. And while I'm not on this camera, while I'm reading your chats, I will play the song.
You heard me say our world is everything. Oh, I would be dreaming of living quietly. And if I heard you say the world's too
We didn't like that one. That's what that was saying. So now is a good time to do that funky thing that people do where you ring the bell and subscribe and all that BS stuff. That means that I'm not a YouTuber, because I'm not. But do it anyway, because some interesting things. So this is a funny thing. Part of that news too. So I was checking out this thing that had happened with my Teespring account, which is something that I have to kind of keep up, because when I get 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, this is what happens. If I get 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, I'm allowed to sell merch on YouTube, which is a big deal because that means I can put merch on YouTube. There is an audience for it, and so that would be good for me. And the merchandise is handled through Teespring. So in checking this stuff out, I found out, this was just last night. So I found out that Teespring lets me mint NFTs now. I don't even know when this started. So that means, if I'm reading between all the lines correctly of this amazing news that I got, it literally means I can start selling NFTs off of the YouTube channel. So that's a really big deal. Of course I can do that anyway, because I can put links and stuff, and I will be doing that. But this is just one of those things that I'm seeing. These are disrupting situations, and they're coming in. So anyway, but I had a really good question, and I'm going to answer it, which was from Jose on YouTube. Why is Peace on vinyl, or why the first pressing on vinyl is from Brazil only? Well, as it turns out, when Peace came out in the USA, it only came out on CD. I was expecting vinyl, but I never got vinyl. There's a story about that too, which is kind of sad, but the reality is I didn't even have a CD player when I first got Peace, which is really funny. And my phone's ringing across the room, but I can't answer it right now. But maybe I should. I don't know what to do. It always happens. The phone rings when I'm on the air. But so at any rate, that's going to drive me crazy. It stopped. If it starts up again, I'll go check it out. But at any rate, so one of the things that happened was that, in the US, it only came out on CD. And we didn't even know, we did not even know that, quote, Living in Oblivion had been out on 7-inch vinyl in Mexico. Jubilation had been on 7-inch vinyl in Mexico. Hold on, folks. Do not move. Someone's calling my phone. Yes. Yes. So I'm on the air again, and you just interrupted the entire show because I forgot to turn off my ringer. Again. Well, we can't talk right now. I will call you tomorrow. Bye. That was my brother. He's like, wait, you stream every Friday? It tells me how much he listens to the show. Because we have to talk about him making a cameo at the shows. You do know I have shows coming up, right? That's a good segue because everything is screwing up tonight. So, anyway, this is terrible. This is what happens. This is real life. So yeah, this is live. This is not pre-taped, obviously. So, obviously. But anyway, yeah, so to get back to what we were talking about, yeah, so Peace was not released as vinyl until 2018 or whatever the heck it was, because I didn't pay much attention to it. But yeah, it's pretty funny. So so in reality, oh, Susan's on the thing and she says he's watching with me. Well, nice, thank you. Then why did he call for? Um, so anyway, I should play a song. But so remember when you guys were asking me about the happy accidents thing? I had queued up something that was funny that that's funny, Konstantinos. I thought this was all pre-recorded and you are incredibly prescient. I wish I was. Yeah, I do think we need to get Gary to call in when I have the phone added to the I'm gonna do it. I'll make sure he does call the next stream and I'll have him hooked in for real into the speakers and we'll do something cool. But anyway, oh thank you. Thank you for that. But anyway, so I was looking through some files and someone had asked for this last week and I was like, why would they want to hear that of all things? But I guess it I don't know, it impressed someone. This was technically speaking not really a recording. What I was doing was I was checking my microphone. This is from the Hope era, by the way. I was checking my microphone, sang this song into the microphone, but I made up the entire thing on the spot and then realized I had hit the record button. So this is cool because I wound up getting like a half a song out of it. And so it was cool. So it was a cool thing to have. So I'm going to play that, which is less than 2 minutes. And then I'll come back and we'll talk some more. It's called, what is it called? She had something to say. This is a test. I had a dream when I was but a child. I dream of a world that lived in peace. I looked around and I finally found somebody who'll share this with me. She lives by a mountain across a great river, where the sea meets the sundown. She looks at the walls of the fallen and grace, and now that we know where it's gone, she had something to say. She had it all for herself, some would say. Everyone smiles and says, I had a dream when I was but a child. Somebody would share this with me. I dreamed of a fountain of youth to the world. I know that it's turning around and around and around. Oh. So that's funny. This is how I imagine I sound when I'm in the shower. That's how I imagine myself I sound like when I'm in the shower. Um, so what's oh, thank you, Audra. Pretty acoustics. Thank you. Um, so let me explain what that was because someone requested it as if it were a song and it wasn't. It was just a test. But what I found interesting about it was that in just doing a bit of research in my notebooks, I discovered that this was actually the very first recorded vocal with the mic that I had gotten for the purpose of recording the Hope album and the new setup that was in the studio at the time, and it was just all new to us. And so that set the tone for like everything that was going to be recorded. And so, as funny as it is, that was the first take per se. So what I think I'm going to do is I don't know if you know this, but next year Hope turns 30. So what I'm 30, not dirty. Although it may turn dirty too, I don't know. But um next year when it comes out, there's going to be a couple of bonus things and I think I'll throw it in there. But yeah. So yeah, can you believe it? Hope turns 30. Man, Hope on vinyl. Hope on vinyl was already done, my friend. It's out and out. It was a limited edition, but you have to understand this whole vinyl thing because everybody bugs me about vinyl. Vinyl can't happen for a long time. Even if I set off to do vinyl today, we wouldn't get it back for 8 months. That's literally what some of these plants are quoting. 8 months. So, unfortunately, and the cost, oh my God, the cost for vinyl. And this is the other scam because I look at it as a scam and I'm sorry, but I do. Vinyl is only really supported for the major labels at the moment and they know it, so they're pooling all their money in to get all their wonderful vinyl into, um, all the bookshops and everywhere that you can find vinyl, but all the independent artists are getting shafted. So I'm sort of anti-vinyl right now when it comes to that stuff because number one, I don't want to overcharge people for it. Number two, I do not want to wait 8 months on a piece of vinyl that, I don't know if you guys know this, but when we did the Dead Stars vinyl, we had a scare that they had lost the shipment. And basically, if that shipment had not come in, we would have had to have waited another 8 months. Thank God it turned up. But can you imagine? Like, you're waiting for it to come in and the shipment gets lost and they're just, Yeah, cassettes 3 to 6 weeks. I know. Cassettes are still something that I kind of like. So who knows? But, let's face it, we all listen to music on our phones or in the car, so the reality is, unless you're really willing to sit down with that record, it's just a collector's item. And I get it. I do. I get it. I just don't know that that's going to be the direction I'm going to go in. But, because even if I wanted to do it for, let's count, even if I wanted Hope on vinyl to be out by February of next year, it's not enough time. And we still have to pre-plan everything else. So, and so that's the other side. So, and all of Hope didn't fit on vinyl because we couldn't add the extra tracks or do any of that stuff. So we had to shorten it for, so yeah, I don't think so. What you're more likely to get is some crazy other things that I'm working on with it. I do love physical things, but I think that I would do something a bit more permanent. 24-bit files that can be found on the blockchain attached to a full-on color-bound book, hardcover book, something. You nailed it. Wax cylinders, piano rolls. Yeah. How about I release the entire Hope album on music boxes? That would be funny. Oh, thank you. No, yes. I will sign all your stuff that you guys get in San Antonio and all those places. But I actually did look, just as a side, I actually did look into custom made music boxes and I was going to put Blue Little Rose on as a music box. I was going to do it. I swear to God, this is true. it was going to cost way too much. I would have to have had a sizable investment to make it happen, but I really wanted it to happen so badly. But one never knows. One never knows. I'm crazy enough to do it, so. But let's play a song. Crowdfund a music box. That would not work. I don't know. It might work. I guess I should knock it. Anyway, here's something from, I don't know. I think this is 2010. I'm going to turn on The Moon Overhead, Ever After, the longer mix, and then I'll come back and we'll talk the next stuff that whatever we're talking about.
I saw the sun, or was it your eyes filling me with that countenance of light, motionless? They just became the warmth, settled within me. Ever after, I felt the wind, or was it your skin rushing me, shook me to my very core. I have to say, oh what a feeling coming over me. Ever after, now dance with me. I stole a kiss, the taste was perfect. Our lips collide, sends me through the stratosphere, above the stars, beyond my woven dreams, where I'm flying through the ever after. 'Cause all those things I used to be seem so meaningless, and somehow thoughts that cross the deep blue seas float right back in my I love yous. As it stands and as it were, I will love you till the end. Maybe past it, I don't know. All I know is I want you with me till the ever after. Till the ever after. Now open your eyes, 'cause all those things I used to be seem so meaningless, and somehow thoughts that cross the deep blue seas float right back in my I love yous. As it stands and as it were, I will love you till the end. Maybe past it, I don't know. All I know is I want you with me. I saw the sun, or was it your eyes? I saw the sun, or was it your eyes? The sweetest brown eyes, your softest warm lips. I want to bite them. They make me. All I know is I want you with me. All I know is I want you with me. All I know is I want you with me.
So that was Ever After. Yeah, I did a project I had these weird look. I've had these weird experiences where I have like an identity crisis with Anything Box. I am thankfully over that now. But there was a time when I had all these different identity crises with A-Box, and I wanted to try different things. And every time I was going to do it, it's either I'm not going to blame it all on the band because I don't think it's just their fault. I think that it was also me. I was into so many different things that if I was going to go in this direction, it was going to be called the diary. If I was going to go in that direction, it was going to be called this. If it was going to, so all these things were always causing me to like have these weird, there's no other way to describe it but identity crisis. So this was very short lived. I put this one single out as Animore. I made a site for the thing, a video, and then the whole thing just self imploded because I couldn't really do anything with it. I wasn't able to tour on it. I wasn't able to do anything that would have any value. So it wound up just dying a fiery death. So I took it down from iTunes and all that stuff because I always thought it was a good song. So, and obviously you can tell it's an Anything Box song. It sounds like A-Box, and even Danya singing backing vocals on it. So the reality is it was an A-Box song. I just wasn't strong enough at the time to just nail that and say, this is where it is. Doesn't matter if it's, if it's going to fail as an Anything Box song. I don't care. We're doing it anyway. That's where my strength was not so good. Which brings us to where we are, which is I'm very different now. Now I could like practically do anything and still call it Anything Box. And people are starting to understand that now because they realize that I am multidimensional. I am multidimensional. There's many things that I do. There's not one thing where you can like just define it and say, oh, he's into this. No, because I'm into different things. And all of that, all of those tastes weave in and out of Anything Box. So I don't really need to do anything on the side anymore, except for the diary, but that's different. But as far as A-Box is concerned, the weirder it is, electronically speaking, the more Anything Box it is. So that's literally, Jose says, sorry, I gotta read this because it's funny. My Hope CD collections, 2 of the first versions on cardboard, 3 on plastic CD cases, 2 of the second version from Jarrett Records, and 1 copy of the Twilight Records. You can call me a holder or a hodler. Well, I'm going to tell you now. My favorite is still the cardboard, which is why that 30th anniversary, and it must be said, by the time we released Hope, we were well past vinyl. So we put a lot into that release, that first version of that release, that so much rided. We had so much riding on that release when we released it that we put a lot into it, artwork wise. So I can definitely see, you'll have to understand that 30-year, we're going to celebrate how we released it as much as possible. So one never knows what the packaging might be like. For all you know, it might be a book. So I'm still looking into it. It's like I have some leeway, but not much of time, but I'm already looking into it. Remaster, a completely small little EP that goes with it that has all these songs on it that most people don't know were from that era. Some totally different things, But what was I going to talk about? Oh, pricing. Yeah, the art pricing thing. I might have to give that up for next week, but because we're almost there. Oh, wow. We are almost there. But and here's another one that caught my attention. Controlled Dive. on Twitch. You always heighten my interest in Tezos. I need to give it a try already. Yes, it's so much fun. All I have to do is look at Tezos on Twitter, and you'll go crazy. So one of the things I learned about the Tezosphere, which I'm going to try really soon, is NFTs with hidden functions, where if someone collects the NFT, it then gives them a gift. So that's going to be some interesting stuff, the way I release some music on Tezos. Because I think that if I do that, it will be a way. Oh, thank you. What was I going to say? I had my moment. That was my moment. I think I'm going to call these. No, I'm not going to call them that. But I had a thought in my head about what to call those moments. But mine went blank. I looked at the chats and the chats distracted me. But anyway, this question came up of how to price art. And this is why the question came up. I actually asked this question to an artist whose work I collected one piece, and it was like one Tezos. And so you understand what a Tezos is. It's basically a token, and the token, one Tezos at the time, was $3. So I basically paid $3 for a piece of art. But it was fantastic. And so I went back and I said, you're undervaluing this a lot, because this is worth a lot more than what you're selling it for. And we got into this back and forth discussion about how to price one's work. And the truth of the matter is there's no real way to do it. There's going to be certain things. Oh, thank you, Jose. Thank you for that super chat. Yes, thank you. I do appreciate those super chats, by the way. That's really cool. So yeah, when I default to this, I obviously have paintings that I know, digital or not, they can't be just one Tezos. I know that. And then there's some that it's not that I don't care about them. It's sort of, I know that whatever the effort I put in, or what I want this particular piece to do, that will determine what the price of the piece should be. There's going to be some that people just, sorry to say, won't be able to afford because they're on a higher level. They're a completely different thing. So it's an interesting journey, because obviously it's not something that anyone can answer when it comes to digital. And I thought it was going to be easy to answer, and it wasn't. So let me pull up something that I came up with here. So I went searching, and so far this was the one. I'm going to paste it if I can. Will it let me? No, it won't let me. Oh, I'll pull it up. I'll pull it up and I'll put it in the chat. But basically, Mintable had a pretty good chart. So I'm going to give you that link with my comment. And it's going to be a little bit of some interesting thoughts on how much you should price your NFTs. But I leave that up to you. But here's how this works with me. If the NFT has many editions, meaning I'm going to make 1,000 editions, then I think of it like a print. So those will be obviously less expensive than a one of one. A one of one in my world is going to mean there's only one that will be sold. And that's it. It won't be reminted. It won't be put on different sites. It's just one. So when I do a one of one, and I've really stayed away from doing, even though I did a one of one on Tezos that nobody bought, and I did it for one Tezos and nobody bought it, which is funny, but it's okay. I have a plan. So as I go through this journey, I'm going to know like what something was worth versus this versus that, because I can tell by the amount of work and hours that I put into a piece, what I'm going to do with it. Now, there's some that I've worked with for quite a few hours that wound up becoming, you know, editions of 10, which is kind of where I'm sticking to, is like edition of 9. Music stuff, obviously, I'm not going to do a stupid thing where I put out a song and it's going to cost you $5,000. That is stupid, and I'm not doing it. I know some people have done that. I'm not doing that. Obviously, for music, it's going to be apropos. It's like if an MP3 is $1 and I'm going to do 10,000 editions of a limited edition song on Tezos, then obviously one Tezo is probably good. Thank you, Lisette. I can't wait to be in McKellen. Thank you. Seriously, thank you, guys. But, you know, as far as like pricing your physical art, that is another issue altogether, because, well, I'm going to show you something. I think I was going to show you this anyway. So I was working on this piece. It came from, sorry, let me show you something here. Uh-oh. I sort of gotta have to name this better. So, for example, I had this sketch, although it's in color. This was inside of my notebook. So I had this particular sketch. So this is a physical piece. From this, I wound up photographing it, and I wound up taking it into a completely different process where the drawing became a digital piece of art. I then rephotographed it and did all the weird liquid rubber stuff, and it went totally dark into a different direction. And this is now the finished piece. I don't know if you can see it. It's always hard to see these in the videos because they're so dark. But this wound up becoming a physical piece done with liquid rubber and almost photographic techniques. That's how this was done. So this is almost a photograph now, like a real one. So obviously, the way that I go from here to this and how it would work is that more than likely what I would do is this becomes a one of one. The person who buys this gets that, and I'll give him this one too. So that would not be one Tezos. And so obviously there's a reason, and I can tell you what that reason is, right? Oh, thank you, Mai. But obviously if I do something where the edition is, you know, meant to be collected as part of a long edition, then not so expensive, right? So anyway, I did one the other day that was only one of 3, and I still made it really inexpensive. It was only 3 Tezos. I did a painting and a strange document that you should go check out. I'll give you the link, but you should check it out. Which brings us to our last topic, which we will be talking about. So this week also in the news, Congress had a meeting about UFOs, except that they're calling them UAPs. But that's what we're going to talk about next. So this is how we went from Tezos to UFOs. Is there a connection? There is a connection. I will show you what that connection is in a moment. But first, a song. Let's play. How many do we have left? Well. We's getting into trouble. Nah. All right. We'll play it. This is, I don't know how we wound up on Hope so much tonight, but we did. So this is A Moment Shifting. I've played this before. This is on the 12-inch of Dead Stars. So if you want it on vinyl, if you ever wanted this song on vinyl, that's where it is. So I'm going to play with some visuals. Well, not a cassette because it's not on there, man. What are you doing? Man, I'm messing up tonight. Ha! It doesn't want to play the song now. Great. That's fantastic. And how is this going to happen? Well, let's see. Yep. Nothing's going to play this song, right? Terrible. Terrible. Will this play it? Nope. This is hilarious. I can't believe this is happening. It won't play the song I want it to play. Not only that, I believe it just took out the entire show, didn't it? Yep. What a terrible, terrible, terrible thing. Well, at least you know it's live. And lucky for me, I can emergency it quicker than sin. If it will play. We're going to find out if it will.
I saw the ball, and still I don't believe with my eyes. I still recall all the hours I played as a child. All the things I wanted, I just watched them slip away. All the open honesty had washed away the stains, and she gone. Although the moment shifting, can you feel it in my pulse? Has she gone? Although the moment shifting, can you see it in my eyes?
A Moment Shifting, the DJ Trip bootleg mix, which was really fantastic. It's been on this stream before, but it's one of those that I don't get tired of it. So, but you can get that one on Bandcamp, and you can find it on vinyl. So, so anyway, and by the way, let me just say that I love your comments on there about Tezos. So obviously, I've been doing a lot of things with NFTs, and I want to clarify something here. So it's not that I don't believe in normal merch. And what I mean by normal merch, it's like, yeah, of course. Look, if you go to an A-Box show now, there's going to be a shirt. You can get a shirt, right? So if you just want the shirt, you just buy the shirt. That's it. There's nothing else that you need to do. However, if you are smart, you will do what that shirt tells you to do with its little QR hidden code madness in it. Because let me tell you, I am going to give things to people that collect those things. So when I know that a wallet's active, I can drop things on them. And that's what's cool about it, is that I can randomly go back to anyone that's ever bought something on a t-shirt and say, guess what? All of you guys that bought that t-shirt, remember where your link was? Go back. I put something there just for you. And then, that's what happens. And so the Dead Stars thing was an experiment to see how far it would go. We did it on the Wax blockchain, which was really good, and I like it. However, what I didn't see on the Wax blockchain, what I did not see on Wax was too much good art. And I don't mean this to sound bad. It's just that Wax as a whole, I saw it more for tradable cards and things of that nature. I wasn't seeing a lot of fine art there. So it would kind of be like if I sent you to like a very, let's just say a very pop-centric site, and you had to weed through a lot of stuff that you're not into to get to A-Box stuff. And no direct way of just getting right to the stuff you want. And so that's why in the end, it wasn't quite what I wanted, although it had some amazing capabilities, and I'm still going to do stuff with Wax. But on Tezos, once you go into Tezos and you see what art is out there, that's where I think your mind's going to shift a little bit, because I'm going to tell you, you're going to see some amazing art on Tezos. You'll see some crappy stuff too, but some of the best art I've seen is on that blockchain as art. And I got to say, it's enamored me. I hope that Tezos keeps going, because it's a big deal. But anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. So yeah, shows are coming. I hope to have merch. I don't know if I'm going to have what merch I'm going to have, but you can be rest assured that if there's a shirt, there's an NFT with that shirt. And it could be almost anything. You've heard all the different tapes and things I play on this channel. So it could be anything. It could be an acoustic rendition of something. It could be, who knows? But whatever it is, it's going to be attached to that shirt. So I would definitely get a Temple wallet at this point, or a Kukai wallet. I would. Not going to lie. But so the next topic that we had in mind, and this is the one that ends it all, was, of course, the UFOs. So I didn't see Jim in the chat tonight, but Jim had asked me, like, in the light of the congressional UAP public hearings this week, are we any closer to determining if the UAPs are secret US tech, foreign adversary tech, ET tech, interdimensional tech, time travel tech, or all of the above? Do we know? What do we think? Well, This is just my opinion. When you feel you have to rebrand it as UAPs instead of UFOs, that already tells me something. It means they have a branding problem. So they need to give it a name that isn't going to be associated in any shape or form to the most obvious thing that everyone wants to know, which is it extraterrestrial? And the answer to that question, I don't think anyone, unless they come out and tell us, right? We're not going to know the exact answer to that question. Is it extraterrestrial? Don't know. Is it time travelers? Don't know. Is it secret US tech? No, I don't think so. Is it foreign adversary tech? No, I really don't think so. Is it interdimensional tech? I don't know. So those three I don't knows pose a very heavy problem because they can't just come out and say, we don't know what these things are, but they pop out of nowhere and they go faster than our aircraft and, you know, all that stuff that you talk about. But what I find interesting in the whole conversation is why now? Why is this a big deal now? Aren't we going through so much stuff with a pandemic, rioting, election, the situation that we find ourselves in with within the realm of politics, and all the issues of the day? Why now? Like, why now in 2022 has this become a topic again? And one part of me, the cynical part of me, wants to say it's just distraction. That it's all a distraction. Could be. It could be a distraction. But there's another part of me that says maybe all of these things going on at the same time point to a pattern that's emerging where we can't stop what's happening. Like, in other words, we're heading towards something, and whatever that something is can't be stopped. So all these other things are getting in the way to complicate things. I don't know. It's a very good question. I don't know. I actually don't know. I can tell you that I believe we're not alone. I can tell you that I do believe that there are interdimensional beings. I do believe that there are. I'm not going to lie. I've seen ghosts, so I can't pretend that they're scientifically impossible. I've seen evidence. So I've lived evidence. So nothing beats your own personal experience, right? And I've seen UFOs. So the reality is, my personal belief is, yeah, it could be any of those things. But until we have the powers that be come out and say something, really say something, I don't think we're going to have that answer. But I think we're closer to that answer. I think we're closer than we've ever been. So I don't know. This year is becoming rather chaotic in and of itself. It's almost like 2021 was like a dip on the stress, and then 2022 has kicked it all back in. So it almost feels like 2020 skipped into 2022 and they're related. Is that just me, or is it just, or don't you feel like it's almost like we're back where we were, where everything's just going on all at once? So on that level, I take a step back from all of that stuff. But I will tell you with a really cool fodder that I love about all this talk. And I'll share. One of my favorite sites in the entire world is this one. And if you go here, you're going to be like, what the is this? But it is one of my favorite sites. This is where I get lots of inspiration for stuff. What you're looking at there is the official CIA site where you pop in your FOIA requests. You can drop in any keywords and you can find all kinds of stuff. So the other day, I was in the mood to create some art and I wanted some texture, and this is what I love using it for. So I went in, and in the FOIA uh, field of this site here, I'll put it up on the chat so you can see it. Let's pop that up so we can look at it. Where is it? I just had it. No, I lost it. Not supposed to see that yet. Huh. So weird. I lost it. They don't want me to show that, did they? One more time. Because I know I popped that shit up. There it is. So here's a site in question. And let me zoom in on that if I can. Will it let me? Ooh, yes, it will. So this is the CIA, and you're allowed to search for anything you want in that field. And so what you're going to see is that I'm going to search for aliens. And then it will give you basically all kinds of interesting PDFs on aliens. Obviously, it'll relate to illegal aliens more than anything. But what's funny about this stuff is that I had gone through the FOIA request and I found something. So it was pretty cool, actually. Let me... stupid thing won't reset. I'll pop it up in a moment. But anyway, yeah, 2022 is 2020 also. Yep. I know. There was a 2021? I know. So what it is that I was looking through the FOIA documents and I came across one that I thought was really funny. And I decided that I would use that one to create some art. And this was the document. I'm going to pull it. No, you could see it. There it is. You see it? This is like a MK Ultra / alien document. Of course, all redacted, right? Top secret, but we don't know what it really means. But anyway, I turned that into art and I wound up putting it on Calumet and on Tezos, and that became the document in question. So you can see that, I do use these things for art. So I like taking the FOIA documents and using them as fodder for art. So at the very least, since they won't tell us what they are, I can make up my own things that they are. So I was messing around with them, and on occasion, I'll pop a few of them onto Twitter, and I'll completely alter them to be like something completely ridiculous. And, might as well make art from these things, because we're not going to get a straight answer. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. We're not going to get a straight answer. But what do I think they are? I think they are probably probes from a different reality or a different section of the universe. I really do. I think that there's a good case for true UFO sightings. But let me know what you think, because I don't know. It's just my opinion. I just want to know what you think about this stuff. Like, do you think about this stuff? Like, what is it? How do you feel about it? Like, what would happen if it turned out to be true? They come out and they say, all right, yeah, it's spaceships. They're faster than us. We don't know what the hell they are, and they're here. Like, what would we do? Like,
What would we do with this information? You tell me. What would we do with it? How would it affect our lives? Would the price of gas go down? Would inflation slow down? Would the markets crash? Would Bitcoin go up? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the real effect would be. I know what they claim the effects would be, but I don't know that everyone would just go crazy. I think it would have a sort of cultural shift in our society. Hopefully for the better, but one never knows. But that's just what I think. And it's time to say goodbye. So what I'm going to do is play the last song, turn on my aptly named UFO cam, and this last song was actually going to be the first Animorphs song. And it wound up becoming an Anything But song, and it was released on Distances. This is Someday, Some Way. And someday, some way, we may know the answer to the UAP UFO question, among other questions that we may have for our governments that seem to really ignore what we think. But I bid you good night after this.
Tuned into your radio before I go to bed, listening to 1,000 airwaves playing through my head. You are so far away, and I just can't believe there's still a thread of innocence that wants to set you free someday.
Good night, you guys.
I'm part of it. Can't you see it?